Picture a warm, muggy afternoon on Tuesday, 14th October 2008, in São Paulo, Brazil. Little did anyone know that this day would mark the beginning of an unfolding tragedy, forever etching itself into the pages of history. The Eloá Pimentel hostage incident was about to take center stage, not just as a hostage situation but as a haunting exploration of the tangled web woven by the complexities of human behavior, ethical dilemmas, and the uninvited intrusion of the media. As television crews descended on the scene, capturing the tension in the air, the third-story apartment became a stage for an unforeseen drama. The ordeal, already spanning 18 grueling hours, was about to transcend the boundaries of a typical news event. What began as a hostage situation would morph into a spectacle, with the media inadvertently becoming both witness and participant in a narrative that would become the darkest moment in television history. In this unfolding tragedy, we unravel not just the harrowing experiences of the hostages but also the entanglement of ethical challenges brought on by the media's insatiable thirst for a sensational story. Join us as we delve into the heart of the Eloá Pimentel hostage incident, where the thin line between news reporting and ethical responsibility blurred, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of journalism. In the heart of the unfolding hostage crisis, the clock ticking into its 18th hour, the media transformed from a mere spectator to an unpredictable player in the high-stakes drama. The hunger for a headline-worthy narrative gripped the reporters, propelling them beyond the role of observers. With microphones in hand and cameras rolling, they stepped into the delicate dance of negotiations, their every word becoming an unwitting accomplice in the escalating tension. The very essence of journalistic integrity began to blur as reporters, enticed by the allure of a sensational story, waded into uncharted ethical waters. Their actions, intended to capture the pulse of the moment, inadvertently injected a volatile energy into an already precarious situation. What started as an attempt to document history swiftly transformed into an unwitting catalyst for heightened emotions at a more unpredictable turn of events. As we dissect this critical juncture in the Eloá Pimentel hostage incident, we witness how the media's intrusion, driven by the pursuit of an attention-grabbing headline, inadvertently fueled the flames, forever altering the course of negotiations. The story was no longer just about a hostage crisis, it became a reflection of the ethical tightrope journalists walk when the line between reporting and involvement blurs. Meet Lindenberg Fernandez, the orchestrator of this chilling narrative, whose thirst for the spotlight matched the media's insatiable appetite for drama. In a macabre dance, the media willingly became Lindenberg's unwitting stagehands, thrusting the unfolding tragedy into the harsh glare of the public eye. Even during the delicate negotiations, where every word was a potential turning point, the media pushed Lindenberg further into the limelight, transforming Eloá and her friend Niara into unwitting pawns in his twisted performance. As Lindenberg reveled in the attention, the media's coverage took on an alarming tone, blurring the lines between reporting and enabling. The constant intrusion, instead of serving justice or truth, unwittingly granted Lindenberg a platform to execute his malevolent script. Eloá and Niara, mere players in this tragic drama, found themselves entangled in a dark narrative scripted not by the negotiators but by the insidious partnership between Lindenberg and the media. In exploring this disconcerting alliance, we witness how the media, driven by the pursuit of a gripping narrative, inadvertently elevated Lindenberg to a sinister kind of stardom. The stage was set, the audience captivated, and the consequences would be dire as Lindenberg, fueled by the media's relentless coverage, continued to manipulate the unfolding events, leaving Eloá and Niara ensnared in a nightmarish performance orchestrated by the very hands that should have been reporting the news. In the relentless pursuit of sensational headlines, the media exacted a heavy toll on the victims of the Eloá Pimentel hostage incident. What should have been a tragedy kept private, unfolded as an unwilling spectacle for Eloá and her friends. Niara, once released from the nightmare, found herself unwillingly thrust back into the gripping drama, where every agonizing moment was mercilessly captured by the intrusive lenses of the media. The exploitation of trauma reached new heights as the media, hungry for gripping narratives, insensitively turned the personal suffering of Eloá and her friends into a twisted form of entertainment. The cameras, like unrelenting voyeurs, documented every painful nuance, exposing the vulnerability of those caught in the midst of an unfolding nightmare. Nyara, a survivor released from captivity, was cruelly pulled back into the clutches of despair, with her anguish laid bare for the world to witness. In this disturbing chapter of the Eloá Pimentel hostage incident, we confront the ethical implications of media sensationalism, where the pursuit of a compelling story overshadowed the well-being of those at the center of the tragedy. The victims, robbed of their privacy, became unwitting actors in a drama not of their making, their suffering broadcasted for a captivated audience, questioning the moral compass that guides media practices in the face of human tragedy. Amid the chaos of the Eloá Pimentel hostage crisis, a pivotal moment unfolded when reporter Luis Guerra brazenly crossed ethical boundaries. In a move that would reverberate through the unfolding tragedy, Guerra directly dialed Lindenberg, the hostage-taker, in a reckless attempt to secure a sensational story. This audacious act didn't just compromise delicate negotiations but also callously exploited Eloá's vulnerability, transforming a deeply traumatic experience into a live spectacle broadcasted for the world to witness. Guerra's intrusive phone call not only shattered the fragile balance of ongoing negotiations but also laid bare the darker side of media sensationalism. By directly engaging Lindenberg, the reporter inadvertently played into the hands of the hostage-taker, amplifying the tension and unpredictability of an already volatile situation. The reckless act not only risked the lives of those involved but underscored the ethical dilemma faced by journalists when the pursuit of a gripping story clashes with the safety and well-being of the individuals caught in the crossfire. In this harrowing example, we confront the unsettling reality of how a single phone call, driven by a thirst for breaking news, could tip the scales in a hostage crisis. The exploitative nature of such actions raises profound questions about the ethical responsibilities of journalists in navigating the delicate terrain of real-time tragedies and the potential consequences when those boundaries are recklessly crossed. In the unfolding drama of the Eloá Pimentel incident, where lives hung in the balance, journalists found themselves at the intersection of reporting and ethical responsibility. This gripping tale forces us to examine the profound obligations that come with the power to shape public perception, particularly in the crucible of crisis situations. As storytellers and chroniclers of real-time events, journalists wield a significant influence over the narrative that unfolds before a captivated audience. The Eloá Pimentel incident serves as a stark reminder of the ethical tightrope journalists must traverse when reporting on crisis. The delicate dance between providing the public with essential information and safeguarding the well-being of those caught in the throes of tragedy demands a heightened sense of responsibility. In this critical exploration, we delve into the ethical obligations that journalists must grapple with during hostage situations and crises alike. How does one strike a balance between delivering news and ensuring the dignity and safety of those directly affected? The Eloá Pimentel incident prompts us to reflect on the potential impact of media coverage on the outcomes of such crises and challenges journalists to uphold ethical standards even in the pursuit of breaking stories. In the aftermath of the Eloá Pimentel incident, a glaring absence of remorse from the journalists involved casts a shadow over the ethical landscape of media coverage. Shockingly, despite the tragic outcome and the role the media played in the crisis, no acknowledgement of the consequences emerged from those responsible for reporting the events as they unfolded. This stark lack of regret underscores the pressing need for a profound reevaluation of ethical standards in journalism, especially in the context of high-stakes crises. The Eloá Pimentel case serves as a poignant illustration of how the pursuit of a gripping story can overshadow the duty to reflect on the potential harm inflicted by intrusive media practices. The absence of remorse not only leaves lingering questions about accountability but also prompts a broader conversation about the ethical framework that should guide journalists when navigating sensitive and volatile situations. In examining this unsettling example, we are compelled to question the accountability and self-reflection within the media industry. The absence of regret in the face of tragedy raises fundamental concerns about the ethical compass that should guide journalists, challenging us to foster a media environment that prioritizes responsibility, empathy, and a commitment to the well-being of those whose lives become entwined in the stories we tell. The Eloá Pimentel incident has etched itself into the annals of history as more than just a harrowing hostage crisis. It stands as a stark reminder of the ethical lapses that unfolded within the media's relentless pursuit of a gripping narrative. As we draw the curtains on this tragic episode in television history, let us not only remember the victims but also pause to contemplate the enduring impact media can wield on real lives. In the aftermath of this crisis, the shadows cast by ethical failings in journalism loom large. The darkest moment in television history is not confined to the gripping hostage incident. It extends to the unwitting exploitation of trauma, the interference with delicate negotiations, and the absence of remorse. This narrative invites us to ponder the profound responsibility that journalists shoulder as storytellers of the human experience. As we reflect on the Eloá Pimentel incident, let us aspire to a media landscape that recognizes its power to shape perceptions and narratives. The events that unfolded are a call to action, urging journalists to navigate the fine line between storytelling and ethical responsibility with the utmost care. For in the realm of media, every story told has the potential to impact lives, and the ethical choices made today shape the legacy of journalism for generations to come. As we close the chapter on the Eloá Pimentel incident, let us not forget the lessons it imparts. It is our collective duty to demand ethical reporting, holding the media accountable for the narratives they weave. The pursuit of truth should be unwavering, but it must not compromise the dignity and safety of those thrust into the crossfire of sensationalism. In this moment of reflection, we extend our call for heightened awareness and scrutiny. The Eloá Pimentel case serves as a poignant reminder that media ethics must remain at the forefront of our discourse. By collectively advocating for responsible journalism, we contribute to a world where the pursuit of truth aligns seamlessly with the principles of empathy, respect, and a commitment to the well-being of all those touched by the stories we tell.